What if scientists had found signs of something humanity has always called the soul? In hospitals around the world, patients who were clinically dead, no heartbeat, no brain activity, later described details of the room, conversations, even objects they couldn't have possibly seen. Researchers call this awareness without a brain and is forcing science to look at what for centuries only philosophy and spirituality dared to touch. Plato spoke of eternal ideas, Aristotle called the soul the essence of life, and mystics across cultures described it as the spark that makes us human. Science dismissed it as unmeasurable until now. Recent studies are capturing cracks in the materialist view of reality, moments where consciousness seems to survive the body. For some, these findings are unsettling. For others, they confirm what they always felt inside, that we are more than flesh and neurons. Stay with me until the end because I'll show you the most compelling evidence scientists cannot ignore and a simple way you can explore this mystery yourself. Since the dawn of thought, humans have asked the same haunting question: what is the soul? Aristotle called it the essence of life, the invisible principle that makes a body more than flesh and bone. Plato believed our earthly existence was only a shadow of a greater reality where the soul truly belongs. In the East, the Buddha spoke of consciousness flowing beyond the body, carried through endless cycles of existence. And from shamans in the Amazon to mystics in India, the soul was seen as the immortal spark, the hidden self beneath all change. But even then, it was never unanimous. Some saw the soul as undeniable truth, while others dismissed it as a metaphor, a story humanity told itself to explain why we are alive. For centuries, this debate split philosophers, theologians, and seekers. Was the soul a literal force? Or simply poetry for the mystery of being? For me, it's never been abstract. I don't need proof to feel there's something greater moving through life. Yet I understand why humanity has always craved answers. To some, the soul is faith. To others, it must be measured. Both are born from the same longing, to know if we are more than matter. Then came modern science. It declared the soul unmeasurable, placing it outside its field of vision. Researchers focused on what could be dissected, weighed, and tested: the body, the brain, the visible. And for centuries, the subject of the soul was exiled to religion, philosophy, and silence. But that silence is starting to break. In recent decades, science has stumbled onto phenomena it cannot easily explain: flashes of awareness where no brain activity exists, testimonies that defy materialist logic, evidence that whispers of something beyond neurons and blood. And so, the ancient question returns with new urgency: could the soul be more than a metaphor? For centuries, science refused to touch the word soul. It was too vague, too unmeasurable. But in the last few decades, something unexpected has begun to surface. Evidence gathered at the very edge of life itself. Dr. Sam Parnia at NYU has led one of the largest studies of patients who were clinically dead during cardiac arrest. In these moments, the brain should be silent. No oxygen, no activity, no awareness. And yet, some patients returned with memories that shouldn't exist, describing doctors in the room, the instruments used, even fragments of conversation. Their accounts were later verified by medical staff. In the AWARE-2 study, researchers even recorded bursts of brain activity during resuscitation, flashes of awareness at the threshold of death. For skeptics, these findings are disturbing. If consciousness can continue when the brain is shut down, then maybe awareness is not just neurons firing. Maybe it lives in a layer of reality science has not yet mapped, and these cases are not isolated. Across cultures, people report near-death experiences with eerie similarities: floating above the body, moving through tunnels of light, feeling a presence greater than themselves. Neuroscience should dismiss these as hallucinations, but when the details align with real events, when the timing matches what others observed, the explanation becomes harder to ignore. Then come the theories. Physicist Roger Penrose and anesthesiologist Stuart Hameroff proposed quantum consciousness, the idea that awareness might arise from quantum processes inside brain cells, processes that don't fit the classical model of matter. If that's true, then consciousness may not be fully contained within the body at all. It may be woven into the very fabric of the universe. I don't take these stories or theories as final proof. I don't need them to believe there is something beyond the physical because I feel it every day, but I see why they matter. For those who doubt, for those who demand evidence, science itself has begun to whisper what spirituality has always shouted: we are more than flesh. If awareness survives when the brain is silent, then maybe what we call the soul is not fantasy, but reality waiting to be discovered. For centuries, philosophers said the soul is our essence. Now, science itself whispers that consciousness may exist even when the brain is silent. Two paths once opposed now bend toward the same truth. There is more to us than matter. For me, this has never been an abstract debate. I don't believe in the soul because of studies or theories. I believe because I feel it every single day. And the most powerful way to touch this truth is not by thinking about it, but by experiencing it directly. So tonight, I invite you to try something simple. Before you fall asleep, find a quiet place. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath and let your body grow heavy, as if it were only the outer shell of who you are. Notice the weight of your skin, your muscles, your bones, all belonging to the physical world. Now, shift your awareness just a little further. Imagine a soft, luminous layer extending a few centimeters outside your body. You don't need to see it clearly. Just allow yourself to sense it like a field of energy surrounding you. Stay here for 1 minute. Breathe slowly. Don't analyze, don't force. Simply notice. Some people feel a gentle vibration. Others describe warmth in the air. What matters is not the intensity, but the recognition. There is something more, something subtle, waiting to be felt. The longer you practice, the stronger it becomes. And little by little, you realize your consciousness is not confined inside your skull. It extends, it flows, it brushes against something vast. This is not about proof. It is about practice. Because when you feel that second layer, even for a moment, you connect with the part of you that cannot be measured, cannot be lost, cannot die. Call it soul, call it spirit, call it higher self. The name doesn't matter. What matters is that it is real because you can experience it directly. And once you do, you no longer ask if the soul exists. You begin to live from it. For centuries, the soul lived in the realm of faith. Religions guarded it as sacred truth, philosophers debated it with logic, and seekers across cultures tried to describe the indescribable. But today, something remarkable is happening. Science itself is beginning to whisper, maybe the soul is not just a story, maybe it is real. Near-death experiences where patients described scenes they could not have seen. Flashes of awareness recorded when the brain was clinically silent. Theories of consciousness suggesting that mind is woven into the fabric of the universe. All of these point to one possibility, that who we are cannot be reduced to flesh and bone. For me, this is not surprising. I have always felt the presence of something greater, a self that flows beyond the body. I don't need studies to know it, but I understand why this research matters for those who doubt. It offers evidence that we are more than machines, more than matter. And maybe that is the gift of this moment. Spirituality and science, once separated, now walking side by side, reminding us that the question of the soul is not only about belief, it is about how we live. So now I ask you, do you believe the soul exists? And if so, what do you think it truly is? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to keep exploring these hidden bridges between science, spirituality, and the search for a lighter, happier life, subscribe now. This is just the beginning, and every week we'll go deeper together.